Welcome back once again to the Imaginary Gallery. It's TJ, your host. This is more Narcissist trash talk. This will be a short video, and this is directed towards those of you who have either been recently discarded by such a horrifying creature, or if you've recently gone no contact with such a creature, and in either case you may find yourself missing this person. As crazy as that sounds, it's very common. With either situation, what tends to happen is when you're involved in it, you can pick apart and see the things that are just not right. But when they're gone, such as they've discarded you, or you've decided to stop talking to them, but then they attempt to hoover, they attempt to show up, to call, to leave things there for you to see, you may find yourself missing this person. Because remember, all that love bombing at first, you didn't know it was phony. That's your first impression. So if they did their job correctly, well, chances are you'll still be longing for something, because the brain, again, filters out the rotten stuff and tends to focus on those little pieces of enjoyment that you felt, even though they were manufactured, fictitious, phony, and designed to get something out of you that you really wouldn't be giving if you really knew the whole story. Well, I'm here to give you a few gentle reminders, and if that Hoover's calling you, to assure you your best bet is to avoid it. Erase the message. Divert your attention elsewhere, because the one thing with this trash talk discussion would be, take a look or take a thought of just how pathetic this individual is. Just think about it. The example I give, which doesn't apply to everybody, but in general it's pretty clear. You can adjust it to your situation. In most of our adult lives, we have things we have to do. Like, most of us have to work in order to support ourselves, to have a life we can be comfortable in. A lot of times, if you have a job and you have to work, well, many times that can involve some role play or some acting, because, for example, when you are hung over or feel sick but you have to go into work, and let's say you work with the public face to face, well, it's doubtful you'd do very good if you went to work and behaved in ways like, oh, I'm tired, oh, but I can't help you, customer. No, you have to be, hi, nice to see you, welcome to our store, oh, let me help you with it. And it's a lot of times like fake. It's an act, but it's required for the position. So many of us, even if it's not that kind of job, or if it's not a job, if it's some other responsibility you have to spend the day altering how you really feel in order to please the business or whatever the case is. Most of us that work, we go through our 8-hour shift or whatever, however many hours, and afterwards, it's like when you were a kid, it was recess. Well, in your life as an adult, it's free time, which means you've done your 8 hours, and so now you can relax and have your free time and enjoy freedom. Well, these creatures, or the creature that you've become distanced from, isn't like that. That creature may work an 8-hour shift or do several hours worth of something that's required of it. And then when it's over, this person pretty much has a second job, which is they target someone like you, listen to you, mirror you, copy you, act like they're in love with you, do all these things for you. And think about this. This pathetic creature is not getting free time to enjoy its life like you, for example, may have a hobby you enjoy or something you really get a benefit from, like listening to some music or watching some video. Now, these people, of course, may watch television and try to copy dialogue so they can use on you, but still, it's like they're also working in their free time. And personally, I could not imagine becoming a character in my free time after the workday and falsifying and scamming other people to try to get them to do this or to do that. It's just sickening, but these types of people are doing that. They did that with you. And you, of course, just thought it was a regular person who happened to have a lot in common with you. But then, of course, after the discard or the sickness you've seen that led you to go to no contact or whatever, you realize this is not a regular person. And this type of irregular person is like in character, con artist, fake, phony. And you wonder, well, how does this person ever have any kind of joy or happiness in their life when they're in character 24/7? It's pathetic. To those of us who are not like them, our free time after work, for example, is valuable. It's time to relax, to have fun, to enjoy things. I couldn't imagine working a full day and then having to put on a character, like a narcopath character, phony, all day for the rest of the day, trying to convince people that this is who I am, you must do what I want, and controlling and all the stuff that these monsters do. Another thing to keep in mind is that this creature that has gone away, it will never connect with another human being in a genuine manner. All it knows is to copy what it's heard other people say, test this line out there, test that line out here, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but they clearly have no clue what it is they're saying. They just know, oh, this works, this will get her to do what I want her to do, and things like that. And imagine going through life so clueless of any type of human emotion or empathy or whatever that you have to fake it, like the robot I talked about in a different video. They can't connect to another person, which you may be tempted to think, oh, I just need to do this or to do that, and then I'll be connected with this person. But remember what the person did. I mean, it told you you were the one and only, while it also pursued Susie Whorebag at the same time, and covered it up and intended for you never to find out, and so on. And common sense will tell you those strong words of devotion for me couldn't be true if that was going on at the same time. And if you try to have that conversation, you probably were yanked into, oh, I only did that with Susie Whorebag because of something you had said or done. Fake reality, non-reality. And I sometimes think about those conversations and think, I am so glad to be away from those because they're retarded. They're not even intelligent adult debates or discussions. They're just me pointing out the obvious and then being told, oh, that's all wrong. And I think, no, it's not, but that's as far as you can get with these monsters. And another way you can think of these pathetic creatures is they're like a crooked business person. For example, this is a crooked business person who is marketing itself, which it knows has never sustained any kind of long-term, meaningful, honest relationship with anybody ever, but it won't tell you this. It'll blame everyone else. When you find out they had 100 other partners, well, they were all evil, they all lied, they all cheated, and this is like a business owner who is marketing itself to you. If you remember your love bombing, especially if you were Like I have been in a few cases where I'm kind of skeptical, thinking, okay, we just met and you're already ready to plan a wedding and this and that. Really? And you've also been through what I've been through, but you're still ready that quick? Fake. Well, think of them as a business person who's crooked and knows they're crooked, and they've got a faulty product that is full of sickness and problems and troubles, and they're trying to sell it to the next target, and of course the next target may be wise and say, but wait a second, you've been married 30 times, and now I'm the one after one date? And of course, they all 30 of them were evil. I'm just a nice person. Fake. But anyway, it's like a crooked business owner who knows they have a faulty product, and they're desperate to sell it to whoever will buy it, or however many people at the same time will buy it, and of course keep each interaction compartmentalized, so maybe pursuing 6 different customers at the same time, but will tell each one, you're my only customer, you're my only customer, you're my only customer. They will actually do things like this. But yes, they're crooked, they know they're crooked, and yet they cover over the crookedness in order to try to con whoever the customer is into entering into the business deal with them. And just imagine if your life was like that, where you were such a fraud, such a broken monster, you had to put on an act in order to try to get people to give you what you're wanting from them under false, fake pretenses. Imagine what you must think underneath all this, to think, wow, in my free time when I could be having fun, I'm spending my time, effort, and energy faking a personality to try to get the things I want out of life, and it's just pathetic. So keep that in mind and be glad to be rid of this creature, because your brain probably is still under the spell of some of the evil witchcraft, reptilian shape-shifting sickness that was thrown onto you, but once you step back a little bit, you can eventually see it for what it is and realize that this crooked salesperson is probably trying out their sales pitches on some new person, which will ultimately end the same way, whether it's the person catches onto them and runs away, or the cluster B creature realizes the person's going to be onto them and leave, they discard and find the next one. Either way, it's a pathetic life, and be glad to be away from it. Peace.
I am the narcopath, and you're not. So I'll take that, Pussy Willow.
I am the narcopath. Well, I don't know who he, she, or it thought it was, but I am the narcopath. She ain't.